So, yeah, you all, begin moving up. You're in this last stretch. You have a feeling, despite it getting colder, you feel like you're getting warmer. As you begin stepping up, you find yourself drawing in. You've never seen a winter biome, no matter how much you kind of got lost earlier. And if the seasons are turning correctly, you should now be going to winter, and then maybe you might be able to go to spring, maybe the center. Mara, despite the injury, kind of seems to be getting impatient. God, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Buru's gonna, keep an eye on her.
Yeah, no. Everybody else thinks she's fishy suspicious as heck, too, right?
Yeah, I was like, I thought she was fishy right from the start. I was I don't know you, and I haven't seen your eyes yet. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Okay, so long as we're all on the same page there.
I thought that for a while, honestly. Yeah. The moment we met her, I was like, Buru's gonna approach her.
Whoa, hey, you should probably slow down a bit with the injuries you sustained. Come on.
Right.
We're gonna get there, but we gotta get there in one piece.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's go slower. She starts stepping forward, moving with less ferocity that she had before.
Are we sure this is the right way?
I think so.
Show can't help herself. She makes the snowball. She's looking down at it and thinking about who to throw it at.
You hear a voice ring out. Halt!
Oh, God.
Oh, more.
Wait a minute. No, hey, that's actually, a man approaches. Huh?
Oh.
Stopping, he turns, and, up ahead, you hear a voice as, something. You hear approaching footsteps as moving on over. It's Capitalmen. About 4 of them by the looks of it. And as you kind of stop and look, they enter onto screen. Yeah, as you step on, a man approaches out. An armored man speaks, Huh? Capitalmen! He kind of approaches. I am General Itadori. A pleasure. Are you the reinforcements?
Yeah, we definitely are.
Yeah, what route did you guys take? Because, we were told that this was the one way.
We got a bit spread around. Unfortunately, we ran into some damnable paper demon on the way here.
Oh, you got hit with that too.
Yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah, we're very serious. This gal happened to get away from the first one, it seems.
He kind of looks. Who's she?
Yeah, I figured as much.
Yeah. We all exchange a look.
We're all just like, you got some splaining to do.
What?
I'm so sorry, but I just had to... Well, how do I explain this? She steps back and... Then allow me to introduce myself. He bows, lowering his head as suddenly the hair seems to sweep. And then, pulling back very suddenly, you see the hair kind of just start to twist and turn as more bushels start to pour out, more hair. A new person seems to appear from the other side. Their form melting away. Wait a minute, Hideo, you've seen this before.
Yeah.
Oh no, this again. Standing majestically with pure white hair with red tattoo markings on their body. They stand there elegantly, waving their hand about and just looking at between the both. An absolute pleasure to meet all of you.
Am I shooting this one, or what are we doing here?
No, wait. Hold on. Sho takes a step forward. Back in the yokai village, they said blessings of the fox god, right?
He nods his head. They also said the 4 humans.
Ah.
Of course.
They say a lot of things, those silly yokai.
Very, very clever. So, You with us or against us?
I'm absolutely with you, but I'm quite... He turns over to these four over here, not quite with them.
Those were yours?
Yes, they were, and you were quite rude cutting them up. He kind of looks and turns over to these. I have deemed you all through intensive investigation that you four are indeed quite noble. However, these four simply seem to barge past. He kind of turns to Junior. They broke tradition.
Oh, as if you could imagine such a... I can't. No, I'm sorry. He clutches his... I'm just gonna sit down.
Barging into my forest like this, I'm afraid I simply cannot allow these four to continue. And so I must apologize for being so duplicitous to you. However, it is my honor as the Fox God to tell you, all of you, that I am very much on your side so long as you follow my commands. You follow my instructions while in my kingdom. And as you four have so brazenly done this, I would ask you to leave. And he turns to his companions, and I would ask you for your support.
Right, sure. Who are these people, exactly?
They're the warriors from the capital. Sho takes a step forward. Listen, I understand what you're saying. Breaking tradition and all, it's bad. Looks back for confirmation to Junior.
Junior nods sagely.
But at the same time, we're all after the same goal here. I get it. I get what they did was wrong, but just like before, I'm sure the most effective way for them to apologize is to make sure that we can accomplish the same thing, right? We're all after the same goal. The 3 that came in here now.
He looks. And I believe that is a task that could be accomplished with you four. He turns to these again. I do not have any desire to see what they intend to do. This sanctum, it has been broken. Tell me if I am wrong, but you intend to take my orb from me, do you not?
Yeah, that's kind of the plan.
It needs to be secured at the capital. An attack like this could happen again. You understand this is for your own good. The Fox God looks. I'm afraid I will not allow that. Though it is out of my reach, it is in a place I control. This is my kingdom now, my people, and I will not have myself so brazenly removed to be brought back to the capital. They didn't want me there centuries ago, and there's no way I'm going back now.
Looks at Junior.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you, Fox God, was it?
That is Kato, the Fox God, yes, and treat me with some respect. In times past, I was a god greater than any of your 12.
Yeah, I'm sure you were.
Or that 13th.
As far as I stand, we're gonna go get that orb. And anybody who gets in our way is a villain. I don't really care about what these people want to do, but if you're in our way, then you're in our way.
So be it then. And? What do you say, he turns his head? Friend of yokai. What did you say to such a claim?
Oh boy!
Is he addressing? is he addressing me or Sho?
He's
Sho was talking before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, come on, guys, come on. Let's do a quick little huddle.
Baru gestures to this woman. Miss
Hanabi, Shimura, champion of the Hawk God.
Shimura. Ooh, excellent. Well,
Oh.
hey, do you, real quick, this really sprung up on us. Can we have just a minute? You guys can huddle
No,
too.
go for it.
Really appreciate, that's why you're the champion.
Fox God looks at the way this is turned. Yes, quite good. Please take your time, hon.
That's why you're the champion. Really thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, huddle kids, come on.
Huddle.
She gives him a thumbs up.
Yeah. Baru thumbs up back. Yeah, she's cool. Okay, so
So are we gonna kill these people? What's going on?
Well, I mean, they only have 2 named characters, so we've got a distinct advantage.
So from my perspective, 1 is easier to fight than 4.
Oh, are you? That guy's a god.
Yeah, and that guy. Yeah, and well, maybe not really.
There's a general and also a champion.
Junior, lore roll.
What? Sorry, what?
You know the legendary spirit of the forest, the Kitsune himself. He is Kato, once legend to be a god. Even that much is hard to confirm, but from your knowledge, you know it to be true. In the past, he was a god, one that was overthrown by the 12. At the time, one of the most powerful. But how the Titans fall, because when the gods defeated him, they could not just straight kill him. It was too impossible of a task to manage. Instead, they managed to wound him to the point where they could steal his power, put it inside of the ball, and seal it within the center of this area. Robbed of any power to fight the gods, all 12 of them pooled their power once more. And, from there, they fueled the ball. They made a barrier around it that could not be broken by any means, at least until today. The fox god refused to leave. He refused to leave even a single moment of his ball, despite being just out of reach. He now is a fraction of his former self, but nothing to scoff at. To fight him and say he was a god would not be fair. It's more of just an intensely powerful yokai, to say the least. This entire forest is his domain. He grew it up around. It became the Forbidden Forest to lock in biomes, given a purpose by the gods, but really just a secret to lock away this internal thing, the Ball of the Kitsune. Almost the source of all power that this god could ever wield.
If we turn our backs on the people who have shown us hospitality, I do not know I could conscience such a thing. It is...
So, here's my one question. Why did he get his powers taken? What did he do?
Do I know that?
Oh, you know, he was, at least centuries in the past, every piece of propaganda or piece that you know at least, you presume it's propaganda since nothing exists in that time, but he was considered quite a tyrant. He wanted to rule singularly, a single god to rule over all of Raoji.
Now, you say... You say propaganda,
yeah, and
is that to
you
say...
You know it is propaganda, but you don't know how much is true and how much is a lie. This is stuff that has all been published by official accounts, and judging by your lore of, like, yokai, you know that there's a bit more to that story.
Oh, boy. 'Cause, like, if they broke the barrier, he's gonna have access to that, and... Man, I don't know what happens after that. We're already dealing with a squid god. We don't need another one stirring up trouble, you know? But
perhaps they could fight each other for our amusement?
It's a bad situation either way, because we don't exactly want the capital to have all of that.
No.
Not in the slightest. They were here for one purpose and one purpose only, which is to swoop in as soon as the barrier was down and seize that power for themselves. And I know of this god only by his reputation, and it is impossible to know how much of that is truth and how much was history being written by the victors. But I would sooner...
I feel like there's no chance that we could take them all. Hideo says, kind of eyeing everybody up, trying to just be like, yeah, I could probably take that guy. I could probably take that guy.
Are they eyeing us up?
The hearts of yokai are mysterious and fickle indeed, and yet I feel it is more possible to know them than it is sometimes to know the hearts of one's fellow man. I would not trust that orb in the hands of any mortal, particularly not...
Sho nods, but that also, I gotta ask, because I feel like I'm the only one left out of this. If you draw your blades on a general from the capital, what life do you all have to go back to? Like, I've been severed from Raoji for a while. I can handle exile again. But what about you three?
Buru pulls out his little black book.
I'm well familiar with, not being on the right side of the law.
Hideo's like, well, I mean... so, on one hand, he's like, we take contracts from everybody. Like, this is like, being against one side or another in anything is a matter of if the check clears. But the Emperor, I'd have to ditch this name. And I'm not ready to do that yet.
Baru kind of cocks an eyebrow at that, considering how much Hideo hates it, but he doesn't want to call that out now.
Well, he certainly didn't say that out loud.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, no.
His eyebrow retracts.
Yeah, wouldn't exactly do to be a legendary hero and be wanted by the Capitol at the same time. This is a tough one.
If you want the criminal in me, that I'm not a big fan of, the only way they'd know it was us if they got back. Just saying.
Yeah, that was my thought as well.
Spoken like an honorable swordsman. Takes a puff from his pipe.
Sho looks over to Junya.
I think you know, Sho, that I take the idea of nobility quite seriously, but what it means to me is to be that one step closer to divine beauty and the truth of the world. And so, I would sooner debase myself in the eyes of my fellow men than in the eyes of the world. Not even the gods, per se, because they are a little more similar to men than I was originally led to believe. But I say this. I would not ask any of you, my truest companions, to do something that would doom you to a life you did not choose to lead. And so, we shall do what is right for you.
Way to pass the buck.
I could never bear to make poor Hideo cry, or to make Sho's tentacles do the sad thing.
Hearing you say that and then immediately follow up with that. She shakes her head. I wouldn't sit right with me. I'm not good about thinking in, like, big terms or anything like that, just good at taking a look at what's in front of me and responding. And all I know right now is this situation, every instinct in my body is telling me to hop in and try to break it up one way or the other. However, any way you look at it, the Capitol's the aggressors here.
Yeah.
All the Fox God asked was for them to leave. That is a reasonable request.
It's just 4 of them.
It's just 4. But we need to keep in mind that this Fox God ain't exactly, the nicest fella, apparently, according to the history books. Wants to say he wouldn't take the power and try again.
Upon that note, suddenly, all of you have kind of felt something. You felt like this general energy of the forest. In a moment, there is a loud sound as suddenly ahead, you all kind of look in the direction, everyone, not even the people in this huddle. A general energy that had been formed kind of further away, but still kind of with eyesight, suddenly flickers, explodes, and dies. At which point the Fox God's face drops. No! That's the sanctum! They're there already! He turns. You gotta make your decision now.
Alright, well, I say, beat the shit out of these guys first, and then if the Fox God is like, now I shall rise again, beat the shit out of him too.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yep. Sounds like we're all on the same page.
Everybody
with that.
dies.
There's one sure way to break up a fight.
Excellent. He falls backwards, and suddenly his tail seemed to, spark up on end. But I'm afraid you must go now. Stop them from taking the orb, and I will hold them back for you.
Oh, that's exceptionally reasonable. Okay.
He flips the whip forward and stares at them. Now, you miscreant bunch, I hope you're ready. You're about to fight a god, but not a god of any divine realm, but a god of the greatest divine realm of all time. He, flicks his whip forward, it cracks 9 times across the wind as he looks at them. Prepare to fight the god of love.
Well, this is mildly annoying.
Suddenly his, the prongs on his whip spring to life, and he just wails at you both, and now you guys can run past.
Alright, cool. I can't wait to see Brennan as a recurring boss for the rest of the campaign.
Cool.
Alright, bye.
It didn't have to be this way.
We're fucking dead!
Sorry, miss.
Combat breaks out. You hear the sound of metal clacking, whips breaking, men screaming, and a gunshot go off as you all start running past.
Baru, you notice that Sho is repeatedly stopping and looking.
Buru grabs her.
Hey, did you still want to hurt one of them?
She picks up that snowball she's been holding for a while and just fucking overarms it and hits the general in the face.
It hits him on the arm and he's like, what the hell?
She fucking books it.
Buru looks at the cannon on his shoulder. Yeah, that's fine too.
Junia initially broke out into a sprint and now is like sprint hobbling. Oh, my tummy. He's holding
For
his...
God's sake, come here, Princess Carrie.
I'm not used to making decisions in haste.
No, that was great. I'm actually really proud of all of you.
Oh boy, I thought I was done with this life.
Oh, God. You all continue moving forward momentarily. 3 of them step. The swordsman 1, then Mr. Gray, seeing the object, moves forward. Oh, finally. It would have been a waste if this was all just bullshit and this didn't actually exist. So this is that sphere thing, right? This jellyfish swordsman speaks up. Yes, this is the sphere of the Kitsune. With this, all of the power that once was locked behind the Kitsune in the past has been stored here. And this is what you're looking for, correct? This device that could resurrect a god? He stops, turns. God doesn't need resurrecting. The old man kind of steps forward. Yes, but, however, to restore power back to its max, I believe that would be necessary. This should have our fledgling god back up to its full strength in no time. Gray kind of scratches his head. He takes a sigh of relief, obviously happy that at least this worked. Despite all the setbacks, despite everything, at the end of the day, they still accomplished their goal. And, honestly, with all things considered, that's the only thing that really mattered in the end. Holding his sword to the side slightly, as he moves forward and reaching one hand forward, he seems to grab at the orb and holds it in his hand, looking at it. He immediately feels the clash of his own energy, along with that which is inside the ball itself. He feels it. He had his doubts. He thought Imanjagro was sending them on some wild chase. He thought this entire plan, years in planning and getting this stage ready, despite all the setbacks, everything. At last, they'd reached it, and with this, the power to complete the resurrection of a god. He looks, and feels a bit proud of himself, and he turns around, and... Hang on, what? He kind of looks as the ball slips from his hand, and he turns down. No, wait. That wasn't the ball. The pain catches up with him. All at once, suddenly blood starts spilling from his arm. Black, inky blood spills across the pink, the ball bouncing on the ground. What? Oh! Ah! He stumbles back. The swordsman takes the ball, inspecting it in his hand. He's already resheathed this sword. It happened in a moment. Not even the old man had time to appreciate what has happened. What? Swordsman? Thank you, Mr. Ray. I appreciate this. However, he slips the ball into his, side of his robe. I don't work with people like you. He starts to take a step closer. Shoot! I knew it! Bastard! The swordsman stepping forward. You really had your eye on me that entire time. You're wondering why I was looking at you? Well, I was just trying to see when you let your guard down. And, as is quite typical of madmen, the greedy, The only thing you saw when you saw your goal in sight, in that last moment, was the object in hand. Your entire life was focused on one thing, your victory. And in this moment, he raises his sword up, preparing to tear it down into the flesh of Dr. Gray. However, a shot rings out. One that pierces through, his left arm. Actually surprising, the swordsman stumbles back a bit. And from behind, the old man, raising up a pistol. He kind of holds and begins backing up while reloading slowly. Mr. Gray scrambles to the side as the two of them stare. So... he kind of holds himself, flexes his left arm, and the inky blood inside of his body ejects the cartridge, spilling it onto the floor along with some blood. I have to say, swordsman, I'm rather surprised. I thought you were a man of integrity. He, reloading the gun, finishes and holds it up. The swordsman, with his own sword in hand, stares at between the two of them. I am. And that's why, no matter how much this is necessary, I can't join people like you. The destruction you reap would be too much. I'll do this on my own. He holds his sword to his side. And, at the same time, the man who stands in front, he also prepares his gun. And in that moment, they look at each other. And seconds seem to pass by, turning to minutes within the singular instance. And then a clash occurs. The sword swings out, the jellyfish swordsman unsheathing his blade, a blade of lightning. And in that moment, the blade seems to unleash a lightning bolt, striking forward. A shot rings through, but even a bullet at that speed is not faster than the speed of a lightning bolt. Before it even has time to exit the chamber, the lightning is sliced through the chamber, cutting through the old man's hand, almost incinerating and destroying his hand in a process, and immediately resealing the wounds due to the extreme heat. He stumbles back to the ground, breathing, almost writhing on the floor. The jellyfish swordsman turns around and, unfortunately, sees that Mr. Gray has disappeared into the foliage. Damn. He steps past. Origashi seems to be on the ground. Seems to be suffering from some form of stroke. Uh-oh.
God.
Oh, God.
Bad timing.
Origashi seems to lay there. His heart seems to stop. And the swordsman... hang on. He pushes up the sword to this man, and lightning seems to surge again, and acting kind of like a defibrillator, his heart restarts. He's like... The man sitting there has an arm to the side, torn to pieces, kind of cut straight down halfway, yet he does not seem to bleed. The pain, however, seems to be much. And the jellyfish swordsman, seeing that he's alive, begins to step away. He moves. You... No! Wait! No. I'm afraid it is you will have to wait here for a little while. Recover your strength and get out of here. Huh? What? People like Mr. Gray, people like those others, they... their souls, there's not enough good in them. Not enough good to change them before a lifetime. But you seem to fight for ideals, and I do not want to kill a man who would be so kind as to offer me a hand and assist me during my times in this forest. Please change for the better, and find a cause worth fighting for. He turns, sheathing his sword again, as he prepares to step out, and leaves the man laying here in the field of pink petals.